Hi, all. A very good afternoon to you. We welcome you to the Ekran and Bulwark partner enablement session, which highlights key mainly on boost your sales with Ekran.
So from this point, Saiteka or Ekran is compliant themselves, and we help to comply with different regulation. Among our customers, you see on the slide like some aircraft, like Turkish Airlines, Visa, Samsung, some banks, but mostly I would say banks, governmental organizations, and I know some different organizations. So mostly I would say this is coming from the so-called critical infrastructure. So financial services, insurance, healthcare, energy, public administration, government and military, and telecommunications. This, I would say, 6 pillars of critical infrastructure, and all of them, they are our customers, and they are benefiting from us. So now we are going to, so I'm going to tell about these 3 parts of our Saiteka platform. And we are starting with what we have started is the user activity monitoring. So user activity monitoring features are the following. So you can get the full and clear picture of each user's actions, literally each user's actions. So it doesn't matter how many monitors the user is using, like 4 monitors, we can monitor all of their activity on all the monitors. And also we have the logs. The logs can be ingested to the CM system for the further analysis and further work. We monitor and record every action of privileged users accessing critical data centers through jump servers. And the recent functionality we have implemented that we can monitor only the secret usage. So for example, privileged user is logging onto the server, and only when the user is using specific secret, like they are logging into some virtual machine with the secret, only after this we can start monitoring their activity. So it is for us a trigger, so a trigger event. The same is a trigger alert. We can start monitoring the privileged user activity by the alert, like, oh, this user, so for example, the usage of Facebook is restricted. And as soon as the user opens Facebook, and this is a rule for us, because Facebook can be used for social engineering, for example. Yeah, and social engineering means for us that this privileged user can, I know, share some crucial information over the Facebook chat. Just assumption, yeah. And as soon as the user is opening Facebook or WhatsApp chat or whatever, we can start monitoring. For example, yeah. And of course, you can search through this session. So you can search by keywords, by applications, by different criteria, URL, keystrokes, and so on. So this is the core functionality of the solution and of user activity monitoring thing. And to enhance the monitoring capability, we provide searchable records of all user sessions. This allows organizations to analyze the activity of privileged users. By the way, based on this, you can define the new rules. So, for example, you are monitoring the programmer's activity, and programmer's activity, like you would not like to. Yeah, we have keystrokes monitoring, by the way. Yeah, and based on specific, you know that based on these specific keywords, there can be malicious activity or whatever. And you start searching through the sessions. You see that these keystrokes have been used, and you can create the rule like block all the activity based on this keywords, keystrokes. Yeah, I know the notepad is not allowed. You can block the user's application as soon as they starting using notepad, type in notepad or command line or whatever. You can block the user's activity. Yeah, this is how we are preventing the malicious insider activity. And of course, this can also trigger the monitoring. Yeah, and based on this monitoring, you can download the session. Yeah, that's one of the core functionalities for the forensic purposes. You can download the whole session, search through the session, and this session can be an evidence for, I would say, both use cases, user activity and user productivity monitoring. So it's up to you. Yeah. Privilege access and session management via Jumpbox. Here is the deployment scheme via Jumpbox. The blue one is the privileged user. They need to log in over the Jump server to the endpoint. So, and our logo of SciTech, our Ekran, is the logo showing that the agent should be installed on this. Yeah. So what you can achieve with privileged access and session management is securing the access to your Active Directory environments, secure web-based access, just-in-time approach for secret usage, password check-in and check-out. So the user starts using the password, it's check-in, it stops using the password, it's check-out, and the password, the secret can be utilized by another person. Applications credentials blocker for the API service. In the password management, what you have is password vault for secure storage and delivery of secrets. Also, we have implemented like personal password vault. So I would say comparing to some other solutions. So you don't, the main idea was, well, the personal password manager is not to replace such solutions like password management overall, but to enhance security within the privileged access management functions. Like you have PAM, and within PAM, you don't have to go to some third-party providers for the password management. You can store all the passwords within your shared. You can share this folder, and you can store your own password for this application, these productive applications. So it's up to you. Yeah. So it's web account password management, enterprise workforce password management, just as I mentioned just right now, and file transfer with WinSCP. Yeah, and of course we have military grade data encryption and data and connections, including privileged account credentials and client server connections, are encrypted with AES 256 keys and RSA 1024 or RSA 2048 algorithm. So we are trying to keep this as high as possible. Yeah, as I mentioned, password checkout features. It automatic secrets password check-in after a specified period of time. And of course, the checkout. Yeah, forcibly check in the password at any time to immediately disconnect the user from the secret. So technically, the admin can do it within one click. Just-in-time approach. It's manual access approval upon request. Yeah, what does it mean? This is also kind of becoming the buzzword, this just-in-time, JIT, just enough, just-in-time approach, and time-based user access restrictions for enhancing the protection of critical data and systems. So the user gets the access for certain time after the certain approval. This is basically the just-in-time approach. Multi-factor authentication is also another feature that we are offering for our customers within the privileged access management functionality, is enhancing the user verification process by combining user credentials and time-based one-time passcodes. Continuous monitoring of all privileged accounts. Yeah, this is, I understand that this feature is sometimes used, sometimes not used, but still we have this feature that you can continuously monitor the privilege, so privilege user monitoring, so-called. Yeah, you can audit the session afterward, and as I mentioned earlier, the offline session monitoring and recording can be done on the agent. So agent, without the connection to the management tool, can monitor and record the session. And of course, you can generate, based on this various report on the activity of privileged and regular users. Real-time alerts and incident response. This is also one of the basic functionalities within our platform, that based on rules, predefined rules, you can identify the suspicious activity, the severity of this activity, and of course, you can, as I mentioned, block the user, kill the application or notify the system administrator or the user, like, you are performing the forbidden action, please stop this. Or I know, even about monitoring, you are being monitored at this point, please take care. Yeah. Something like this. Our privileged access management strength, lightweight software agent. It's approximately 45 megabytes. It's fast deployment and easy maintenance. That means that fast deployment, 30 minutes to 40 minutes, something like this, of our application. And after that, you can deploy the agents on the endpoints by the network. We have highly optimized formats for compact data storage, approximately 250 to 100 megabytes per 8 hours of working day, depending, of course, on the picture quality, like grayscale or color, and every 1 second there will be a screenshot, or every 5 seconds or whatever. So it depends on the quality you require and the alert. So, but if you would like to monitor and record specific activities, only specific activities, not all the activities, you can achieve this by defining the rules. Yeah. AT compliance readiness. So, as I mentioned, ISO 2701, ISO 9001, Cyber Essentials compliance, and we are also in the process of some other compliances. So the product ourselves will be compliant. And complete server and desktop operation system support. Windows, X window, Mac OS, Linux, VMware, Unix, and so on and so forth. Yeah. So basically, all the major operation systems are being supported by Ekran. Oh, Cyteka now. So the use cases of privileged access management are monitoring and auditing privileged user activity, securing critical endpoints and sensitive data. Yeah, this is the main use case basically for the privileged access management. Granular access provisioning. That's so we identify which privileged user has the access and which kind of access they have to the machine. Ensuring IT compliance and bypassing cybersecurity audits. Basically, the cybersecurity insurance is also requires the privileged access management functions within the company, so they can make an insurance for you. Securing remote employees and third-party access to your network. One of them, probably the main use cases, is securing the access to the server of the company by third-party subcontractors and vendors and suppliers, and enabling rapid incident response and forensic investigation. So, as I mentioned, you can immediately block the user from the performing forbidden action. Small amount of our time will take Cyteka productivity monitoring. So Cyteka offers configurable reports that enable organizations to generate different types of reports and export them in a protected format for further analysis. This makes audits easier and less time consuming. And of course, organizations can also use the reports to identify trends and patterns in user activity, helping them identify potential security risks before they escalate. And the session recording allows us, as I mentioned, it's agent based. Yeah, just so we know that agent should be installed on the endpoint, on the customer's endpoint. And here on the screenshot, you see some of the reports you can generate. And what has been already mentioned, that the Windows, Mac OS, Linux virtual machines are being supported. So your employees can work. I mean, if you would like to track their productivity on different devices, we enable this. Yeah, and of course, at certain point, we can also enable their data privacy by pseudonymization or data anonymization. And user productivity means that you have scheduled reports, you have widgets in the management console, you have user productive and idle time, who works more or less, most used websites, most used applications, and their productivity report. Here is on the screen, in the middle, you see that, for example, the date and the scale of the user's productivity, how productive they've been, and throughout the day. And you can identify the user who was productive or non-productive. One thing is deployment scheme. So we have the on-prem deployment. Here is the scheme, how it looks like. Basically, Ekran system application server is currently the Windows server. And Ekran system database is MySQL or PostgreSQL supported. The agent can be installed here. You see all the operation systems, Ekran system clients that can be installed on desktop servers and terminals. And Ekran system management tool is the web-based tool. Here is the on-prem deployment, or I would say private cloud. So you can install everything on Azure or AWS in the private cloud. And also we offer Cyteka SaaS deployment model, where currently it's on AWS, hosted by Cyteka. By request, we can deploy it in your local AWS data center. Currently, it's in the US and in Germany, but as I mentioned, there is an option that we can deploy it in your nearest data center. So now, do I still have time? Yeah. Okay.
Yes, we do. Yeah.
Okay, got it. So now we're coming to the Cyteka success stories with use cases. One of them is Ginigar, secures third-party access and user activity by Cyteka. So Ginigar is the plastic products, a global leader in agricultural films and nets based in Israel and operate in over 60 countries. And they've been searching for the software to secure and monitor third-party access to their servers with sensitive data. That's, I would say, that the most common use case is secure the access and monitor the access to the servers. Within banks, within insurances, within, I know, some other like production companies, it's securing the server access. If we are talking about the user activity monitoring or, I know, privileged access management and so on. So the challenge was, firstly, simplify the third-party access, so as I mentioned, subcontractors, to control and reduce manual input, establish continuous monitoring of our subcontractor activities. We can identify the out of working hours, and this can be also a suspicious activity, and we can restrict the access out of working hours, and upgrade login for detailed access and activity tracking. So what was the solution? We have implemented the MFA and set granular third-party access rights. The continuous monitoring of user activity in real-time session was implemented, and alerts for security incidents and suspicious activities has been implemented. And searchable records of all third-party user activity. So afterwards, the administrator can search through and see their activity. What was the result? It's the automated third-party access management workflows, complete awareness of who does what within the monitored infrastructure within the perimeter, and of course, detailed tampered proof evidence for user activity analysis. That's what they have achieved with us. Another use case is the bank. Probably 40 to 50% of our customers are banks and financial institutions because they are highly regulated. They require the most sophisticated solutions for the cybersecurity because they are working with sensitive data, with payment data, and mitigation of this data breaches and so on, what can cost millions. So that's why they are benefiting the most. And one of the use cases is Swift CSP compliance for us to help banks comply with Swift CSP. We implement this. Basically, it's the same scheme that there is, for example, a Citrix server where the Swift server is installed, and the access to this Swift server should be monitored every time the user logs in. technically, this bank was in Spain, but we also have some SWIFT bureau in the Middle East, which serves the banks in the Middle East, in Africa region. Basically, it's all the same, the use case. Yeah, SWIFT CSP compliance. Here is on the slide. You can see that meet SWIFT CSP requirements. So the challenge was, first of all, meet these requirements, ensure the high level of financial and data protection, and reduce the risk of SWIFT account compromise. The solution was, as I mentioned, track all logins with Cyteca agent on a Citrix server, recording all login attempts with optical character recognition algorithm, log user activity, and forward records to the customer CM system for further analysis. And the result? Compliance with SWIFT CSP requirements, transparency of users' activity within the SWIFT CSP SWIFT environment, and ability to prevent and detect attacks in the SWIFT environment in the early stages. This is the major benefit. And here is the feedback. Like, I can share this afterwards. What else? If we're talking about the handling objections, like sometimes here is the brief table of how we can mitigate the objections, why not to do this, like cost concerns. I would say Cyteca, so Ekran Cyteca is the most cost-effective solution on the market, and allows to keep the lowest total cost of ownership within the whole platform. Yeah. So
All right.
I mean, I will not go through all the points. You can track it by yourself, like just not to mention it. And yeah, one more thing is that I just utilized this slide for the visibility, is the available resources. So Cyteca, or currently you will see Ekran, what we offer, it's free to use the knowledge base. It was also kind of insight for me that some companies asking for the payment to use the knowledge base. Ekran or Cyteca is not asking any money to use the knowledge base, and this technical knowledge base is available on the website. Here is the link to it. Also, we have full feature presentation for your per users, also available on the website. We don't hide any functions from our customers and partners. Like, if you'd like to know more, you can just go through. It's really extensive presentation, full feature presentation, what we currently have now. And of course, the link to our case studies. We have pretty much case studies on the different use cases, starting from privileged access to specific usage of ISO 27001 compliance, and so on and so forth. Here are the links to these case studies, full feature presentation, and knowledge base that you can. It's all available on the website, and you can see it, you can learn it, and you can share it with your customers and partners. Nice. What we have some time, probably questions.
Yeah, I guess we can answer the commonly asked questions when we pitch in the Ekran solution, as in how can they hide, or like, can I hide the system client from the users?
It's one of the trickiest questions. Currently, we don't offer it by default. Generally, there will be a kind of process visible for the user. As I remember, it's possible to rename it, but technically no. So basically, what stands behind the initial request was to. The idea of the product was to offer the user activity monitoring for the privileged user. And privileged users are considered as the highly risky users, like insiders. And from this point, we have like you are in this environment and you need to be monitored by default. For example, some compliances in Europe and in the US, they require monitoring. Like, for example, the same as Swift CSP. So it was not mentioned to be hidden, to be the hidden process. The installment can be done in this mode. Yeah, you can install this, but the process itself, if you open the taskbar, you might see the process.
Is offline monitoring possible?
Yes, the offline monitoring is possible. I have also mentioned this during the presentation, that offline monitoring. So offline means your agent goes offline and the agent doesn't have the connection to the management tool, to the system server. And that means that all the data will be stored on the cache of this agent. It depends on how much storage you will dedicate for this activity, but technically, yes, it's all possible.
And one other common question that I receive is like, what is the impact on the endpoint?
The impact on the endpoint is approximately 0.1% of RAM usage, and the agent itself, it's 45 megabytes, so it's really low impact. It does not require that much as somebody might think. Yeah. And generally, we don't have that much impact on the whole system, except of if you would like to monitor the user 24/7. Yeah, so you can imagine that during working hours you would have like 200 megabytes. So would be, I know, 600 megabytes for the 24/7, something like this, per one user of whole monitoring. But you have the archiving option. So at some point you can set up the archive. So not to keep all the data in one storage, you can archive the session after the specific time. Like after 1 week, you can archive the session. After 1 week, you can archive the session. Some compliances, this is the only impact on the storage. Yeah, I would say. And some compliances require storing the data for 3 months. Yeah, some compliances require storing the data for 6 months. In our SaaS solution, we offer data retention 6 months in our SaaS solution. You as a partner, as a customer, you might decide how long would you like to store your data. I see another question from Avinash. How Ekran monitors bring your own device? So in this case, either the agent should be installed on the device, so it might be the requirement, or this device connects through the jump server and the jump server is being monitored. Yeah, these are two options. So we don't we don't offer any proxy, any tunnel or whatever. So these are only two options. Like either the agent should be installed on the BYOD device, or if the BYOD device connects through the jump server to the premises and the jump server is being monitored. That in this case, whatever device you choose, you are going through this jump server and you are being monitored. One more question. Okay. Even two questions. Is it vulnerable to DDoS attack? So if you are in DMZ, it's not vulnerable just because the architecture itself. Yeah. If you are in a DMZ, you are not vulnerable. If you don't open your management tool, which is a web-based tool, but it's web in the local host. If you don't open it to the internet, it will not be vulnerable. So it's technically not. We don't. if it's on-prem solution. Yeah, if it's cloud solution, no idea. How does Ekran is different with VDI solutions where they provide all controls? We do have a collaboration with one of the, I wouldn't say VDI, it's virtual workplace. It's VEN. It's called VEN. It's the US solution. They utilize our agent for, so how it looks like, you have your BYOD device. VEN is kind of virtual desktop, and the monitoring agent is installed not on your BYOD, but on in the VEN's environment. It will be monitored the user on this virtual machine. In VDI, we don't need to install any agent. You mean if you don't need? I didn't get this. Yeah. But but still, like VDI is like what is the use case? To monitor the activity, then you need to install the agent to monitor all the activity, to track everything. Within the VDI, you can also set up rules. By the violation of these rules, you can kick out the user. So, okay. Okay. In any case, you can find me somewhere, or you can get in touch with Bulwark. They can address specific technical questions to our technical team. What I would like to add, so we offer trial licenses, we offer support of our pre-sales team, so you can also plan the proof of concept together with all of us. So please feel free to get in touch, and we will support you with all your activities, with all your questions.
So yeah, I think thank you all for joining the session. And as Yavan mentioned, if you have any further questions, please feel free to reach out to us. Thanks again, and have a great day all.
Thank you very much. Thank you, all of you. And I hope you have enjoyed the session. Have a nice day as well. Yeah, please.
From my end, I would like to say a heartfelt note of thanks to you, Evan, for the informative session, and thank you, Novomi, too, as well, for planning this and initiating this. And last but not the least, I would also thank our esteemed attendees, our partners who have taken their time off to, attend this webinar. Please do be in touch with us, and I would request you to please kindly fill up the feedback evaluation form at the end of the webinar. It will help us to, follow up and understand your requirements and address them accordingly. So with this note, I say a heartfelt thanks to all and end the session. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you, Sonali.
Thank you, Sonali.
Thank you.